Here is a question from practice test paper. I'd like you to read the question properly, pause the video, answer, and then look into my suggestions. Question is, write an equation to match each sentence. A number divided by 3 is 20. There are 16 more white keys than black keys on a full-sized piano keyboard. There are 88 keys on the piano. Next one is, Lake Ontario is 77 kilometers shorter than Lake Erie. The lengths of two lakes total 699 kilometers. And the last one is, 7 less than a number is 27. Now once you have answered, you can watch the video further and look into my suggestions. Well, the very first suggestion here is that the question says, write an equation. We don't have to solve the equation, right? That is most important thing which you need to understand from this question. Write an equation. So just write down your equation and don't solve it. Solving that equation will mean that you'll run out of time. So that is important. So in a test paper, you have to see how to solve or how to answer the questions in the limited time. Now, when you write the equation, another important thing is define your variable, right? Writing equation without defining variable loses the meaning. So two things are important here. One, define variable. Second, write the equation but don't solve it, right? Now with this in mind, let's solve the question. So there are 4 parts to this question. We need to write an equation to match each sentence. The first one is, a number divided by 3 is 20. So let's first define the variable. And that is, let the number be n. So that is the first statement. And now let's write down the equation. It says number divided by 3 is 20. Straight. Number divided by. So if n is your number, then n divided by 3, right, means equal to 20. That's your answer, correct? You can read it. Number n divided by, that is the sign for divided, by 3 is equal to 20. Next one. There are 16 more white keys than black keys on a full-sized piano keyboard. There are 88 keys on the piano. That means there are two sentences here, right? One is saying the difference between white and black keys, and the other one is telling you the sum of these two, right? And two variables. So we say let W and B be white and black piano keys respectively. So when we say W and B, so that means W is number of white keys and B is number of black keys. So that is how we define our variables. Now let's read the sentences. There are 16 more white keys than black keys. So white keys are more and the difference is 16, right? So this could be written as white equals to black plus 16. That's one way of writing it, right? So there are 16 more white keys than black keys. So white keys are more. So you have to add to the black keys to get the white keys, right? And the next one is, there are 88 keys on the piano. So that means total number is 88. So white plus black equals to 88, right? Now the first equation could have been written in a better way. That means there are 16 more white keys than black keys. That means the difference between them is 16, where white is greater, and therefore you could have written this as white minus black equals to 16. So I prefer these two equations, right? Remember, we need to only write down the equations and we don't have to solve them, right? So don't waste your time in solving them. Next one. Lake Ontario is 77 kilometers shorter than Lake Erie. Lengths of two lakes total 699. So it's very similar to the previous question. So let's define our variables and we'll say let, so Ontario O and E be lengths of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie respectively, right? Now you write down your equations. We say Lake Ontario is 77 kilometers shorter. That means lesser, right, in length. So Erie is longer, right? So we'll write E minus O equals to 77. Does it make sense to you? So that means that Erie is longer by 77, okay? The lengths of two lakes total 699. Total means add them up, right? So we have E plus O equals to 699, right? So that is how you should be doing it. Now at times when you define your variables, you can also say let O and E be lengths of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie respectively in kilometers, right? So that's a better idea, right? Write it in units also. So that ensures that whatever answer you are writing will be in kilometers. Now the last one here is 7 less than a number is 27. So we'll say let the number be. So we'll say let the number be n. Now 7 less than the number. So that means you have to take away from n, right? 7 less than the number is 27. So n minus 7 equals to 27. Many times I've seen students making a mistake writing 7 minus n. It is not taking away the number from 7. It is 7 less than the number is 27. That's what it means, right? I hope that makes things very clear. And with this, your review on writing equation comes to a conclusion and you're ready for your test. So let's take another question which will be solving equation. Thank you and all the best.